I told you about somebody cheating, right?
Yeah, Terry yesterday, right? Yeah. Don't cheat, Terry, right?
Yeah, I wasn't going to name his name, Terry.
That's okay, yeah. All right, back into a hover.
He'll be happy if that makes it into a video and he actually gets to hear us making fun of him.
Did you hit the governor off? Or?
I did not. I did not.
Okay, maybe that was my thumb. There we go.
Good catch. See? There's why you do a hover pre-takeoff check.
Never know what...
Right there. You look down during your hover getting ready to go, and boom.
Yep.
Governor got bumped off. How, for whatever reason, it was off. Nice job. That's why you do a hover pre-takeoff check.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
I always pulled it up about right here, and I'll look at how much power I'm pulling, and then say everything's in green before I push forward for takeoff. So
let me add this. My examiner
left close traffic, 65 Lima.
Says it all the time. Pilots are not using pre-takeoff checks, and this is a bad thing. And instructors aren't always teaching it, and flight schools aren't always teaching it.
Right.
And they should be. And they should be teaching this for every single takeoff. And we did it in EMS.
Right.
In EMS, you must do a hover pre-takeoff check every single time. And you just saw the reason why. You caught the governor was off. What if you didn't catch it? It was off, and you went and did something, and you were expecting the governor to handle it, and whatever weird thing happened. But that's just an example of it only takes 5 seconds or 10 seconds, no matter what you're doing, to look down. Everything good? Gauge is green. Lights are off. How's your fuel? And then you can go.
Right.
I see it every day. People don't do it.
Right.
I see them take off from the ground all the time. It's like you didn't do hover pre-takeoff check.
Yep.
Until you get it to a hover, you don't know how much manifold pressure you're pulling.
Right.
You don't know how the engine's going to act until you have a load on it.
Right.
So, nice job. That's why we do it.
All right. Painfully slow takeoff. Let's see if I can do this.
Don't cheat.
I'm just going to...
Don't cheat, Terry.
Yeah, right. Don't move the collective. Just inch that cyclic forward ever so slightly.
Yep. Yep. Good job.
And maintain those pedals on that center line.
Yep. Just stay on top of the pedals. Keep it low.
And don't touch the collective.
Yep. And if the skids touch, it's okay. Keep the nose straight and let them touch. And on a super hot day, it might happen. You know, if you're right here, we might touch right there. Maybe, but I think you're going to get it. Yep. There it goes. But sometimes in the Instrum, you almost had to touch, and then it would come up. It's like you're going, and then it come down. You only touch for like a couple feet with that little bounce, and then it would bring back up, and away you would go.
Right.
So as long as you got, the skid shoes are in good shape, and the nose is straight, and you're on a good surface, you're not going to have any problem. Of course, if you were in a rough field, okay, this might not work.
Right.
You might have to burn fuel, offload passengers, wait till it cools off, whatever the case is. But keep that in your toolbox for heavy load, a bunch of passengers, a lot of fuel, hot, humid. Yep.
Yep.
Nice. And you got it. Look at that. Textbook, 60 and 500.
Feet, yeah.
And you didn't move it.
I didn't touch it. No, I mean, I had my hand there, but I didn't move it, yeah.
So think about students that are all over the place because they're jerking the collective around. If they would leave it alone.
Right there, yeah.
If they'd hold the pedals where they should be, other than above and below 50 feet, put the cyclic where it should be, and look how easy a takeoff is.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I like it.
That's nice. You're going to see yourself inside HOGS.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Let's see. And those are, again, to me, these little things that we're talking about today.
Charlie 2, contact ground point 7.
These are the things that I think make the difference.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
There's a lot to learn to become a private pilot, commercial pilot, CFI, whatever. And a lot of that we learn stuff is really useful stuff that we learn and we're going to need forever. Some of the stuff we learn is stuff that you're paying your dues and you'll never ever use it in your career.
Right.
But you pay your dues and you learn everything they tell you got to learn. It's these little things that people don't always teach. That damn governor's off again.
The light, it's flickered like twice now, so.
Is that off or that's on?
Should be on.
Which way's on?
On towards
I forget.
November 6065 Lima, read down.
I'll be darned.
6065,
and now it's on.
runway 23.
And now it's on again.
Runway
Okay.
2365 Lima.
I have to tell Gavin about that.
Yeah. Well, this is good.
Golf, about 10 miles northwest of the connection. Delta requesting a full
flip the
stop.
switch. Now it's
off. On the right downwind, runway 23, report turning to downwind.
See,
all
no,
right.
it didn't
Right downwind 23, report entering the downwind 120 miles.
So here's a real world thing that I've never had happen in Robinson.
I've done some governor off training, yeah.
where the light's actually malfunctioning. I mean, you verified the switch is on and the light came on, stayed on like 10, 15 seconds, went off, came back on, went off. There's a real world thing where you go, okay, is something really malfunctioning or is it just the light? We think it's just the light, right? Because it seems like it's operating just fine. Correct? Would you agree?
Yeah, I'd agree.
So
800 Kilo Papa.
you get back, you go to Gavin and say, hey, for whatever weird reason, we had the governor on and the light started coming on. And then they take it from there and decide.
It definitely stuck out on that pre-takeoff check.
Yep.
Kilo Papa, report 4 mile final.
So how do you feel about the governor off stuff when you do it?
Well, when I first started it, I'd always want to go like this with the throttle, but then once I got used to it, he's like, don't touch the throttle.
Yep.
He said, if anything, it's very, very fine movements.
Yep, and that's right.
But when I was a beginner, I always had a bad habit of wanting to overcorrect for it. He said, just leave it alone.
Everybody does that. And here's the benefit that I had by training in Schweitzers and Enstroms early on was I got that used to the manual. I like the governor. The governor's nice, but in turn, I'm used to doing it. I've got thousands of hours flying without a governor. But it's funny when somebody that learned with a governor, they can be pretty intimidated over, oh my God, the governor's on.
Tower, November 269 Kilo Mike, 10 miles to the west, inbound landing with Delta.
What you said is absolutely correct. Tiny movement.
Number 269 Kilo Mike,
If the governor
right
fails,
down runway
you
23,
just
port midfield right down.
maintain it. If it comes down a little bit, roll on a little throttle. If it's too high.
269 Kilo Mike, right downwind, report downwind.
Because the governor's only making small little minute changes.
Right.
10 Kilo Papa, there's a helicopter 11 o'clock and a mile westbound at 500 feet.
Pushing 800 Kilo Papa.
So yeah,
Something to him.
we have an intermittent governor light going on and off. So who knows? For some reason that light's going on and off. So what are we going to do? We're almost home, right?
Right.
We're going to just keep our eye on it and be prepared for it to quit working.
Right.
Probably just a faulty light.
Tower, Coast Guard 8213, visual 23.
Okay, Tower Helicopter 144, Papa Charlie.
144, Papa Charlie, go ahead.
Yeah, about mile mile east, we'll be landing inbound at the L ramp with Delta.
Papa Charlie, Roger. Report. Actually, approach the airport from the south side of runway 23 for the L ramp. You can proceed direct to the L ramp, which is on the south side of the approach.
Okay, we'll intact south side of the approach and be inbound for the L ramp at my own risk. Helicopter 144, Papa Charlie.
20 visible.
Well, I hope you learned something today.
Oh yeah.
Temperature 28.
Sticking what you learned is basic private pilot 101. You know, learning the basics and sticking with the basics is what you need to know.
All right, that footage is from Florida. This is my first live video since we've been back. So much to talk about coming up. A lot of things transpired in Florida. I have a couple more videos we want to show that were with Ryan in the R-44. He was preparing for his commercial, and I flew with 4 HOGS members in Florida that were all working on the commercial, so that was really cool. And Ryan did a really good job, and I was really impressed. And that hover pre-takeoff check, he looks down, the governor was legitimately off. That's why the light was on, it got bumped. So he fixes it, and so I'm going, see, that's why you do hover pre-takeoff check, and that's why I like that video, because then we take off, and then the governor starts malfunctioning. Well, the governor was working, because I could feel it, making changes, but the light was faulty. It would come on, and it'd go back off. Come on, go back off. Switches on. But you get the point? He checked before taking off, so he knew the governor was on because we had just verified it was on. So that's why I like that video. That's inside Commercial Pilot, along with a bunch of other videos inside Commercial Pilot. Full upgrade to Commercial Pilot, now has quizzes in it on at least part of it. There'll be even more quizzes added. We had no quizzes before, so that's big. Whole bunch of updates to HOGS. There's been new content that's went into pretty much everything except the R22. There's been new content going to private, commercial, CFI. Recently updated all the instrument quizzes. So haven't been emailing you with every single update. So anyway, a lot of different things going on, lots of new updates to all the courses, and I'm gonna roll a couple more videos. And this is good stuff whether you're private or going for commercial. Ryan was working on a commercial. but the reality is I teach the same way at private and commercial. So what we're going to show you is why, not only why do we hover pre-takeoff check, but why do we want you doing a takeoff with hover power only? We're going to talk a little more about that as we were doing a takeoff, or I was actually out flying around. Either way, we're going to cover the reasons why behind we want you to take off with hover power and not change the power till you get to altitude. And this wind is going freaking crazy. So before I roll those videos, March 1st will be 11 years online. Last year we did our big celebration. Each year we've started on March 1st and went to my birthday on the 15th. This year, because it's slow right now, February is always our slow month, and I'm going to be going back to Florida to do some more flying. I'm going back to straight up aviation. They were, I have to tell you real quick, I highly recommend straight up aviation in Fort Myers, Florida. Gavin did my flight review and flight refresher on Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I flew with HOGS members. Filmed a bunch of content, and I'm going to go back hopefully before the end of the month. And that's why I want to go ahead and get the sale started, because when I get back, I'm going to be wanting to edit a bunch more content. And then I got to make a decision about Heli Expo too. So we brought back yearlies. We haven't had yearlies in several years. We occasionally do a private yearly, but we brought back yearlies until March 1st. So you can get any of the yearlies for private, commercial, instrument, or CFI, 50% off with the code HOGS50. And then the Pro Pilot, Professional Pilot, 50% off. Those links are down below, so you can go down below. You don't even need the code, but if you happen to not jump in later and you want to go to the website, helicopterground.com later, HOGS50. It's that easy for 50% off. So you got those videos ready, Heather? Yep. We're going to roll a couple more videos for you, then we'll be back.
Have you been taught the painfully slow takeoff?
I have. Yeah, I've done. It's been a while since I've done it, but I have. Painfully slow. I can remember it being painfully slow, just that.
Well, maybe we should stop at Buckingham.
Stop at Buckingham, do some maneuvers? Yeah, we can do that. Okay.
Because at the commercial level, you definitely want to know the painfully slow takeoff. And the best example I can give you is once I got, and you may have already heard this in the videos, I'm flying the Jet Ranger, doing the new stuff, and we always went up with 50 gallons of fuel.
Yeah.
And one camera operator. So that's the normal. When we had a student there, we would let them go on news calls.
Really?
So I'm taking up an extra person this day because we're going to go up for the evening news, and they want us to stay up longer than normal because of an event going on. So we add a person, passenger, the student's going to go along, and we took on extra fuel because the 50 gallons was perfect to go up for an hour and have plenty of reserve, but we knew we were going to be up for a while and not for sure how long. So we took extra fuel. Summertime, hot, humid,
heavy
summer,
yeah,
heavy day. I'm on the ramp getting ready, or on the runway, getting ready to take off. And in the Jet Ranger, you have a torque limit. You cannot overpull the limit. You cannot overpull the red line, or otherwise, you know, torque.
Right.
So it's for the engine. You could damage the engine, and you know, if you're flying a turbine aircraft and you damage the engine, you're embarrassed and fired, probably.
Right.
So I had to literally do the painfully slow takeoff in real life because to hover on that hot, humid summer night, extra fuel, extra person, I was at the limit in a hover. So that means I can't pull any more power.
Yeah.
And I had to do like, where you're down, where you got your skids just 2 or 3 inches above the ground to stay as close to the ground as possible for the ground effect. And then you just start creeping slow, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And you just keep doing that. And you keep creeping forward, gaining a little bit of speed, until you hit ETL, push through it, staying close to the ground until you get your speed that you need to start your climb. And then this is what, 45?
45 knots, yeah.
You continue on, get through ETL, get to your speed, and then let it climb. And most helicopters will give you your 60 to your 500 feet per minute climb with hover power. It's nice for the commercial environment where you're getting ready to go work in.
Right.
Soon, you're going to get your commercial certificate, And then you're going to go start helping them do commercial stuff.
Right.
And that includes hot, humid weather in Florida with you loading this thing up with people. Any given day, you might be pulling max power to get off the ground. It's good to know. And then the other reason that we teach it and push it is they tell us if the engine's going to quit, it's probably going to quit during a power change.
Right.
Makes sense, right? You're driving down the road in your car. In your life, have you ever had the engine quit because you accelerated or deaccelerated? Yeah. It doesn't usually just, it could, but usually you're driving along and it's running great. It doesn't just die. It usually dies when you like went to give it fuel and it went, and then it died.
Yep.
So same thing in an aircraft. It could, of course, an engine could stop anytime. However, making a power change is more likely. Like us now, we have some places to go. We could go left, we could go right. We've got some open areas to go. We got time to deal with it. If you're during your takeoff, when you're close to the ground, obviously, that's a more difficult time to have an engine failure. It's going to be harder to recover.
Absolutely.
So why not wait until you have altitude and airspeed to then either reduce your power to do whatever you want to do with the flight profile you're looking for.
All right, I want to reiterate, those are good no matter who you are. Student, working on private, you're going for your commercial, you're teaching as a CFI. That's the essence of what we do and the way that we teach it here, and that's the way you should be doing it. Again, Ryan was working on his commercial, and I just wanted to share some commercial stuff to let you know. Again, we've been updating the commercial, whole brand new section, which is awesome. Lots of updates we'll continue to bring to you. Again, the link's down below for the sale that expires March 1st on our 11-year birthday since I launched Helicopter Land Ground School. HOGS 50 is the code if you go to our website at helicopterground.com, but if you go below this video, there are special links down there. Click it. You don't even need the code. So this last video we're going to show you real quick. I wanted to show Ryan this, going to the commercial level, was a little more of a short slide and then running landing. And I've done this video a couple times in the past, but I find it important that there's nothing wrong with the long slide if that's what you have to do. But there are times where just a shorter slide is all you may need, depending on what type of a power failure you're having. So do you have that video radio? Go ahead and roll that one.
Run on landing?
Yeah, let's do a run on landing as if you've had some kind of a partial power failure. The engine's just not making the power it normally does. And we're going to do a running landing with a little shorter landing than what you're used to.
You want to demonstrate it, or you would just want me to go ahead for it?
Page Tower, Roger 412 requesting
I'll take the controls if you're ready.
Full land on 23. Where do you park after land 293?
I have the controls. So I'm not going to do anything really different than what you're used to. I'm going to shoot a shallow approach.
Right turn, clear for runway 23, charge 3.
Into the runway, and I'm just not going to be in a big rush to get it down on the pavement. I'm going to shoot past the numbers 1-4, so I'm not like, you know, scraping their numbers off their runway. And I'm just going to ease it on down to the ground. And of course, the biggest thing people struggle with is keeping the nose straight.
Yep.
And the other big thing that people want to do is they have a flare put on it and end up hitting on the back of the skids and then slamming the front down. The hardest part's keeping that forward cyclic in there during the running landing. So I'm not even going to worry about a particular spot because I want to just show you the idea of, let's say you were coming in and you had a runway or a big open area. So it's just the fact that you know you need to land, but it's not like, oh, it's a small parking lot, so I got to force this. It's just, I got an area I can go to. I know I'm not making quite enough power, so I'm going to shoot a shallow approach, and as I get closer to the runway, I'm going to make sure I just stay on top of those pedals, keeping the nose straight, and just keep moving it forward, keep moving it forward, keep moving it forward, and try to keep that forward cyclic in there, because it's just kind of a natural thing that people want to pull back, and that is the difficult part. So we're moving in towards the ground, keeping the nose straight, staying on top of the pedals, just keep moving it forward, keep moving it forward. No rush to get it on the ground. Moving forward, keeping that forward cyclic in there, stay on top of the pedals. Now I'm just going to ease it down because it's making enough power at this point. I know I can't hover, but I just need to get it down. So, a little bit forward, keeping that forward cyclic in there, trying to hit the skid straight. Coming down, there it is. Stay on top of the pedals, brake with the collective, and boom.
That's a good one.
We're on the ground.
I like it.
Have you ever seen one that short?
That was probably the shortest one I've ever seen, but I like it.
It's an idea, right?
That's a good one.
And
yeah.
maybe you need one that's...
Mine were definitely a lot longer than that.
And
yeah.
maybe you'd have to do that.
Yeah.
And that's the way most people do it. So
right.
just to show you something a little bit different.
Sure.
I'll give you the controls back.
Okay, and then I needed to mention a couple things that I meant to do earlier on. Study guide. You get a study guide with ProPilot. We'll ship you this. This has really become popular. There's a link down below this video, and people are giving us the feedback, and they're like, man, that thing is worth its weight in gold. People are using it. We've had some awesome feedback here. Brian's been using it to prep members. And I met this guy at Heli Expo 2 or 3 years ago. He's the one in one of our videos. He is the gentleman who survived the engine failure in an Enstrom and did a video with us. It's on YouTube. So Cole is going up for certified flight instructor. Heather just put these together. And then Robert Gardner, this will be his second time up for instrument pilot. He's getting ready to go up on the HOGS Wall of Fame. And then we got a first timer for Tom Walton. So there are the 3 members, new members going up onto the HOGS Wall of Fame. As you can see, we're closing in. We don't know what we're gonna do next. We're gonna have to rebuild the whole thing with smaller pictures or something. But anyway, to wrap it up, until March 1st, 50% off, 12 months of private, 12 months of instrument, 12 months of CFI, 12 months of private, instrument, commercial, CFI, and then ProPilot is lifetime. ProPilot, you keep all of those courses, they never expire. And just so you know, private is just private. Commercial includes private. CFI includes private and commercial. And then instrument is standalone. So the links are down below if you want to grab the special before it ends March 1st. Again, study guide, and we'll reiterate, people have been using this at commercial level because the questions are so good and they start out the same check ride. They ask you all the same stuff. And Brian even said, even instrument commercial, you still start the check rides out. And Brian said that, he said, heck, somebody could even use it on instrument for those, what you gotta know starting off the check ride. Link for that is down below. And if you sign up for Pro, Heather is going to ship this to you direct to your door. So to wrap it up, Florida was awesome. I'm going back to do more flying. I came home and edited up all the video. For 1 week when I got home, I did nothing but edit. I barely ate or slept or did anything other than edit videos for a week. I've edited it all up. The footage came out way better than I expected. And now that I've got a bunch of stuff that I've updated inside HOGS, I learned a lot what I can do down there filming. And so now I have ideas how I'm gonna get even better stuff when I go back and fill in more places inside Helicopter Line Ground School, fly with some more members in Florida. And why not? It's February here and the weather kind of sucks. So I'm going back to February, or I'm going back to February. Going back to Florida before the end of February. Shoot more video, fly with more members. So leave a comment below, we'll see you next video. Peace out.